Stop scrolling. Whatever you think you know about the booming Indian economy today, you are wrong. Turn off the mainstream financial news. They are telling you to buy the dip. They are telling you that New Delhi and Washington are close to a deal. Welcome back to Boss Economic World. I'm your host, and today we aren't just peeling back the financial onion, we are slicing right into a geopolitical tear gas canister. Today is December 18, 2025. While Wall Street is distracted by the Santa Claus rally, a humanitarian and economic catastrophe is unfolding 8,000 miles away that is about to hit your wallet in ways you didn't expect. One of India's richest states, the manufacturing engine of the South, is bleeding out. We are talking about confirmed orders wiped out, factories going dark, and a trade war that has moved from posturing to scorched earth. If you are holding emerging market ETFs, or if you work in retail, logistics, or textiles, you need to watch this video until the end. Because what is happening in Tamil Nadu today is coming to a port near you tomorrow. Let's dig deep. Folks, we have obtained a letter. Not just any letter. This is a distress signal sent straight from Chennai to New Delhi. M.K. Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, Stalin is in the opposition, he usually doesn't have nice things to say to the PM. But this time? He isn't playing politics. He's begging for a lifeline. He says the high US tariffs, those brutal 50% levies Donald Trump slapped on Indian goods back in August, are causing irreparable damage. Let's pause on that word. Irreparable. Economists love words like transitory, correction, or headwind. They don't use irreparable unless the building is already on fire and the fire trucks have flat tires. Stalin admits that in some districts, export orders haven't just slowed down, they have dried up. We are talking about a daily revenue loss of 600 million rupees. That is $6.7 million every single day vanishing into thin air. And where is this hitting the hardest? Tirupur. If you don't know Tirupur, you should. It's known as the knitwear capital of India. It's the reason your t-shirts used to cost $5. In the fiscal year 2024-25, just before this nightmare started, Tirupur and Coimbatore combined exported 45,000 Indian rupees crore worth of garments. They were booming. They were projecting 15% growth. Now, Stalin reports a staggering wipeout of 150 billion rupees in confirmed orders. Production cuts are up to 30%. Imagine you run a factory. You have 1,000 workers. You have loans to pay. And suddenly, your biggest customer, the United States, which buys 1/3 of everything you make, says, sorry, your price just went up 50%. We're buying from Vietnam. That is not a recession. That is an extinction event. Now, why is this happening? Let's restore the full picture that the media is missing. Back in 2024, during the campaign, Donald Trump said it clearly. He called India the tariff king. He looked at the 100% tax India charges on Harley-Davidson motorcycles and said, if they charge us, we charge them. He called it the Reciprocal Trade Act. Everyone thought he was bluffing. The experts said, oh, the US needs India to counter China. They won't risk the relationship. Well, boss economics rule number 1, never bet against a populace needing cash. In August 2025, the hammer dropped. A flat 50% tariff on Indian textiles, leather, and gems. The result? The Indian government is panicked. New Delhi officials have been flying to Washington for months, expressing optimism. They keep saying a deal is around the corner. Spoiler alert, there is no deal. Both sides are locked in a stalemate. The US wants India to lower its own barriers on data, on agriculture, on e-commerce. India can't do that without angering its own farmers. So, they are stuck. And while they talk, the factories in Tamil Nadu are closing. Let's get away from the billions for a second and talk about the people. Stalin's letter calls this a looming humanitarian challenge. Why? Because the textile industry in Tamil Nadu isn't just machines, it's people. It employs 7.5 million people. These aren't day traders in Mumbai. These are migrant workers from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Odisha. In early 2024, we already saw a preview of this. Remember the migrant exodus rumors? Back then, it was fear. Now, it is economic reality. If you cut production by 30%, you cut shifts. If you cut shifts, these workers, who live paycheck to paycheck, starve. We are seeing small and medium enterprises pushed to the brink of collapse. These aren't the giant conglomerates listed on the Sensex. These are family businesses that operate on razor-thin margins of 3 to 4%. You slap a 50% tariff on them, their margin doesn't just disappear, it turns into a crater. And it's not just t-shirts. Let's talk about the leather and footwear industry. Tamil Nadu contributes 40% of India's exports in this sector. It employs another 1 million workers. If Nike and Timberland stop buying from Chennai because of tariffs, those 1 million people don't just find new jobs. They go back to poverty. It gets worse. This isn't just a Tamil Nadu story. Look at Andhra Pradesh. The chief minister there, Chandrababu Naidu, is actually a coalition partner of Prime Minister Modi. He's on the inside. And even he is screaming. Andhra Pradesh produces 70% of India's shrimp. It's an industry worth billions. In FY24, India exported nearly $2 billion worth of shrimp just to the US. But now, the US has slapped anti-dumping duties plus the new Trump tariffs. We are hearing reports from the ground that 50% of export orders for Andhra shrimp have been cancelled. Farmers who invested millions in aquaculture ponds are watching their pink gold turn into worthless biological waste. Why? Because Ecuador is right next door to the US, and they don't have a 50% tariff. This is what I call the great substitution. The US consumer is still eating shrimp. They are just eating Ecuadorian shrimp. They are still wearing t-shirts. They are just wearing Vietnamese t-shirts. India is being deleted from the supply chain in real time. Now, here is the detail that proves the game is rigged. You might be asking, boss, Tamil Nadu is home to the Foxconn factories making iPhones. Is Apple getting hit with 50% tariffs? Of course not. Mobile phone exports are currently exempted from Trump's tariffs. Isn't that convenient? The big tech giants, the Apples, the Googles, their lobbyists in Washington made sure their supply chains were protected. The tariffs are hitting the little guy industries, textiles, leather, shrimp. The labor-intensive sectors. The sectors that employ the poor. The high-tech assembly lines making $1,000 phones? They are safe. The $5 t-shirt factory? It's being sacrificed. This is the dirty truth of the 2025 trade war. It is a war on the low-margin, high-labor industries. It is a war on the emerging middle class of India. So, what happens next? Stalin is imploring Modi to find a bilateral agreement at the earliest possible juncture. Good luck with that. The Trump administration smells blood. They know India is desperate. They are going to squeeze New Delhi for every concession imaginable, lower tariffs on US dairy, opening up the financial markets, maybe even geopolitical concessions regarding Russia. In the meantime, the irreparable damage is already done. Buyers like Walmart, Target, and Gap don't just switch suppliers for a month. Once they move their contracts to Vietnam or Mexico, they stay there. Supply chains are sticky. India is losing market share that took 30 years to build. We are witnessing the deindustrialization of South India triggered by a signature in the Oval Office. So, what is the takeaway for you? If you are an investor, be very careful with Indian manufacturing stocks, especially in textiles and mid-cap exporters. The India story is hitting a massive wall called protectionism. If you are watching the global economy, this is proof that the China plus one strategy has a flaw. Everyone moved to India to escape tariffs on China. Now, the tariffs have followed them to India. There is no safe harbor in a protectionist world. The humanitarian angle, watch the headlines from Tamil Nadu in the next 3 months. We are going to see unrest. We are going to see a crisis that the central bank cannot print its way out of. The boss bottom line? The narrative that India is the new China just got a 50% tax slapped on it. The economy isn't about numbers on a screen, it's about leverage. And right now, Washington has the leverage, and Tamil Nadu is paying the bill. Stop listening to the politicians who say all is well. Look at the empty shipping containers in Chennai. I'm boss. I peel the onion so you don't have to cry. Well, you might cry about your portfolio, but at least you'll know why. Smash that like button if you want the truth, and I'll see you in the comments.